Cancel culture, conservatives canceled, tenacious D, hypocrisy and display, Adam Schiff demands Biden drop out, RNC day 3, Elden Lord later, get in now. I'll blast off meme, my lord. I blasted off with this already. This time it's just Kaya. Fuck it, whatever. We're light on the blast off today. No, conservatives hate liberals. People hate whoever makes them feel inferior. That's why libs hate the left, but conservatives hate liberals. Of course conservatives hate liberals. They really do. But they also hate socialists and, like, you know, communists and whatever. I think they're more afraid of socialists. Like, they just don't understand it. They despise liberals, but they're fearful of what they perceive as to be socialist. Like, they think we just have something wrong in our brains. Like that like our worldview fundamentally does not align with American principles. That, like, we have just been brainwashed by China or Russia or some shit. You know, well, not Russia, but USSR. Chat, the glazing is insane, shaking my head. There's a new cyberpunk detective noir game called Nobody Wants to Die. It just came out today, pretty sick. Honestly, I kind of want to play that, like, Trump, protecting Trump from assassination game. That's like an old ass game. Here it is, folks. This is the blast off. Cancel culture, conservatives cancel, tenacious D, hypocrisy display, Adam Schiff demands Biden drop out, RNC day 3 and Elden Lord later. Get in now. Steam game that the kid played? I don't think the kid played that game. Are you studying up on Jason the Weenie lingo before Saturday?
And then I said, skibbity toilet. What? You're breaking up with me? I can't believe it. But who am I supposed to edge with now? What? I thought we were supposed to munch next week. Oh gosh, you have to be trolling. My aura is.
Dude, she's cringe on purpose. She's pretty funny. I mean, it's a hard watch, but it's, like, designed to be a hard watch. You know what I mean? Like, that's the whole point of this. She is so good at just being the worst. I don't know how else to describe it other than she is very good at doing the most and being the worst.
It's fading away. I can see it vanishing in front of my eyes. I thought you were rizzing me. I thought you were glazing. And now you're telling me you don't even spit on it? Our relationship was supposed to be W's in the chat. I get these dreams.
No, I was on a ferry the other day near a group of high schoolers and they really talk like this. I know they do. I hear it at the basketball court all the fucking time. If I see, bro, let me tell you something. If I see a broccoli cut or an Edgar cut, you know I'm about to hear the most horrendous shit coming out of their mouths, okay? And that's just like a byproduct of being old. Gremlo, thank you for the W-ass raid. On God. That was real Sigma of you for the raid. We're out here in Ohio, but right now, shit is feeling pretty rizzed up. What's the Edgar cut? Don't worry about it if you don't know what it is. Okay, listen. I go to the courts. If I see a fucking Edgar cut or a broccoli cut, I know I'm about to hear some skibbity ass bullshit. Okay? But, like, I think it's just, like I said, a byproduct of us being old, like becoming older in this community, you know? That's just what it is. We're no longer 20. At least I'm not. You know, I'm 32. I'm about to be 33 next week. As a 32-year-old, I could grow broccoli hair their whole life. I'm a little confused how to feel. Yeah, I mean, I love the broccoli cut. I had the broccoli cut when I was younger, and people used to make fun of me because it looked like shit, and because I just didn't know what to do with my hair. It's naturally fucking a little curly, and the broccoli cut worked perfectly with it. Some kid saying, what the Sigma crits me? Yeah, no. That's hanging on a lot. Last week at 32 for dear life, huh? Shh, still 32, bitch. How do you style your hair? I don't do shit. I just put minoxidil in it so I don't bald. And then I just, like, let it ride. I am 35 and I have to Google most of these terms that aren't Twitch related. Yeah, if I'm talking about something, just know that it's like, it's for your benefit. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of times I'll just, like, tell you some shit and you'll be like, why is he talking about this? And it's like, dude, you need to have, like, broad knowledge of all the things that are going on. So you're, like, at least a little bit in tune with the culture. Obviously, you know, that kind of stuff is still being dominated by younger and younger children in general, because, like, the internet has basically made everyone the same age, kind of. Obviously, that's not the case, but, like, the reception of content and commentary almost always is like, oh, this is a person that is probably around my age saying this, or maybe a little bit younger, but you never think, like, that's a fucking 12-year-old speaking, dog. That's literally a 12-year-old saying this shit. And because of that, like, and how extremely online little 12-year-olds are, they end up dominating culture a little bit because they could just like overpower people who are not extremely online. It's a very weird, it is a very weird circumstance. Yeah, I saw Isaac Chodiner interview Bernie about Biden. I know. Have you seen, oh my God, Gavin Newsom cooked the living shit out of Elon? Hasanabi heads and uni. Help me with Gen Z slang. Thanks, y'all. Axios Biden strat to, yeah, I see this. Biden is newly embracing a laundry list of left-wing policy proposals. This was the gamble. There was a little bit of talks about this coming from, there was some talk about this coming from a couple different outlets. I told you guys, like, it didn't make any sense why AOC and Bernie were like so invested in Biden and were riding with Biden. And I briefly covered it too. I think it was Axios or something. I can't remember. But like, this is the gamble of the squad, is that they think that if they embrace Biden at this critical moment, that Biden will adopt their policy positions for the first 100 days. Except I think it's stupid because Biden did not adopt those first 100-day policies when he made those campaign promises last time around. Okay? I think at the end of the day, this is suicidal because he's going to lose. And then when he fucking loses, they're going to be like, oh, he lost because of leftist positions that he adopted. I don't trust Biden as far as I can throw him. I can't throw him very far. I think I could probably throw him a little bit further than the average person, but like, you know, probably Secret Service would stop me from doing that sort of thing. So I can't technically throw him very far. I just don't trust Biden. Okay. I don't trust him. And I think that it's silly to trust him. Okay. That's all I'm saying. I don't know why I'm diving deep into this, this colloquialism. That is the same take from Owen Jones. Yeah. His bones are hollow. He's not a bird. He's old, man. He said his bones are hollow like a bird. He will take flight if you toss him. You don't understand. Not age. I think the age will blanket all other onions. What? You are such a tanky Republican. Yeah, dude. I love tanks and I love the Republican Party. I love free market principles. Okay, this is Ugandan kids recreating the Donald
I want to
Trump
really see
assassination.
something that said, take a look at what happened.
Look at them having fun. Dude, the internet is so awesome. I mean, that's dope. That's cool as hell. Some Republicans are about to be like, we need to bomb Uganda. I mean, they wanted to bomb Uganda anyway because there's black people there and they're afraid of that sort of thing. But like now they're extra trying to bomb Uganda because they're like, how dare they make fun of our president? How dare they make fun of our president? Oh, boy. It was filmed before the shooting. That's crazy. What did they know? Okay, so we got that. Donald Trump is super measured. We're going to be talking about how measured he is. We're going to be talking about the polls and how they haven't shifted that much and how Donald Trump hasn't shifted that much from being measured, even though he claimed he was going to. Anyway, RNC Day 2 happened with the GOP rivals uniting behind Trump with Make America Safe Again.
With the RNC in Milwaukee, where former contenders for the GOP presidential nomination gave Donald Trump some major support last.
By the way, this was weak as fuck. RNC Day 2 was weak as hell because their entire point is just like, we have to make America safe again because obviously America's like on the downturn and there's like so much crime, specifically immigrant crime. But like, you can't really make that argument this far out. Like you could have tried to make that argument in the midterms and it still failed on its face, right? And as you guys know, 2024, year of Hasanabi vindication. For many of you who weren't around maybe in like 2021 or whatever, or many of you who were mad at me in 2021, I was saying all of this stuff. I was like, you guys are crazy with this whole crime panic shit. I assume you saw that weirdo Pierre's mom, uncle. Yeah. What? No. No. But yeah, 2024 year of Hasanabi vindication. Speaking of my uncle, actually, what is this? I assume you saw that weirdo Pierre's bomb uncle. I don't know what you're talking about. I actually legitimately don't know, but but speaking of my uncle, he was another one. He was another one of these dudes who got swept up in the crime panic. Okay. And you know this, like, I love Jank. I ride for Jank. 2024 is the year of Jank. I'm voting for him, right? He's my president. He's my president in my heart. And it's like interesting to think that, someone who is so formative, so important in my life could become so fucking brain rotted in terms of the crime panic, in terms of the crime narrative. He did that shit, and as well, unfortunately. And it's like, they were wrong. And they were wrong, and the Republican Party is wrong. And what's really crazy about this is I was listening to NPR this morning, as one does, trying to be as gay as possible because, that's what I try to do. I try to like groom myself into homosexuality in the morning, like woke Marxist homosexuality by listening to NPR. It's called gay maxing. You guys should try it sometime. Anyway, and it was shocking. It was shocking that like I'm listening to Up First, right? And what am I hearing from Up First? Oh, like designated Hasanabi talking points from like 2021 onward. Crime panic is out of control. Americans consistently overestimate how bad crime is. Why do they feel this way? Well, it seems they feel this way because they see homelessness and they think, oh, that's crime. They look at homeless people on the streets and they view that as like crime skyrocketing, right? That's it. That is the correct point. People look at homelessness and they go, that's why crime is up and it's going crazy. And I told you this. I told you this time and time again. Sensationalist news from local media, all the way from Sinclair Broadcasting, all the way to like regular local media outside of the sphere of Sinclair Broadcasting, the network television was going along with this narrative. They would bring police chiefs on and they would tie it to crime is skyrocketing because the police are defunded. Police never got defunded. Crime never actually fucking skyrocketed, but it didn't matter. That narrative set. It wasn't helped by the fact that Citizen and Ring and all of these applications that people had turned them into like chronic fascists, turned all the moms in the suburbs into fucking Hitlerian fascists. Okay? It swept the goddamn nation. It swept the goddamn nation, and yet you don't really hear about it as much anymore. Why? Well, because it wasn't a real narrative, and the media decided to move away from that. You think people just go online and make some shit up? No, I don't think that people go online and make some shit up. I think that people refuse to be reasonable and refuse to look at empirical evidence in times of emotional turmoil. They see a homeless person masturbating on a fucking street corner and they go, oh my God, crime is fucking out of control. Technically, that is a crime, by the way, of course. But like, my point is, they see homeless people, they see tents, and they go, crime is everywhere, crime is everywhere, crime is everywhere. And then the media goes, oh yeah, crime is everywhere actually. Look at this fucking retail theft. Retail theft was another lie that the media told. Walgreens CEO says we have to move out of certain parts of San Francisco because of organized retail theft. A year later, the CFO comes out and says, oops, my bad. I guess we were lying about it. I guess we panicked a little bit. There was a very good reason why they lied about it. They saw the prevailing narrative and they tried to shelter the real reasons as to why they were moving out of certain neighborhoods. They were moving out of certain neighborhoods because real estate was too expensive for them. Okay, brick and mortar retail is getting absolutely clobbered by Amazon. Of course, they're having a hard time competing with, online retailers that have now moved into that moved into like the regular grocery chains as well. And that's the real reason why they were shutting down some of those stores. But they didn't want to say it like that because that would cause maybe an investor panic. So they were like, oh no, it's because of crime, right? Anyway, but if you were in here, you knew that reality, okay? You knew that reality. If you were in here, you saw that because I talked about it regularly and a lot of people yelled at me for it. They said, oh, dude, you're such a socialist. You just don't care about crime. You don't fucking care about crime at all. You love crime. Shut the fuck up. You just want, specifically, they would get racist with it. They'd be like, oh, specifically, you love when black people do crime. You think they're infallible. You think that you can't ever criticize black people. Remember that. That's what they used to fucking say. They would just like automatically associate crime with black people. Anyway, so having said that, all of this, and the fact that crime has steadily declined, with the exception of that minor blip post-COVID, is the reason why RNC Day 2 was kind of a dud. Because they can't keep up this narrative that like crime is out of control, crime is out of control. You don't even hear from the fucking big truckers. the big mother truckers that are terrified of going into the city as much anymore, about like, oh, I can't go to the city because there's homeless people everywhere. I can't bring my truck with the truck nuts into the big city where there's Mexican crime happening. They have, however, created an immigrant crime panic, which again, another Hasanabi lock permanently. Undocumented immigrants do not do more crime than documented U.S. citizens. As a matter of fact, per capita, undocumented migrants are responsible for less crime. New statistics come out on this stuff all the time. Undocumented migrants are 30% less likely to be arrested than a natural-born U.S. citizen. Okay? Just remember that. But that doesn't change the reality that the Republicans have hysterically claimed that migrants are doing crimes everywhere. They're doing rapes. They're doing crimes. They're bringing drugs over the fucking border. All of which is a lie. There is no other way to have this conversation with people because they're just presenting a false narrative that they genuinely believe. Okay? How do you deal with that sort of thing? You can't. You just have to be honest. See? This guy goes, what about Lincoln Riley? Brother, every murder is emotional. Okay? Every murder is an emotionally charged moment. The reason why you can't fucking talk about murders by looking at one person. By the way, her name wasn't even Lincoln. Her name was Lakin. You don't even know her name right, but it's fine. It's understandable. That's just a talking point for you, and that's the reason why you're fucking bringing that shit up, because it's a talking point, and that's precisely what it is. It's an anecdote, okay? It's an anecdote, and you cannot utilize emotionally charged anecdotes if they do not correspond to the broader data. Okay? Do you understand? Every single moment, like every murder is significant, right? Every murder is significant. Every sexual assault is significant. It's emotionally charged, which is precisely the reason why Republicans love using singular instances to create a false narrative. When I say undocumented migrants are responsible for less crime per capita than natural-born U.S. citizens, that doesn't mean no undocumented immigrant has ever done a crime. That would be insane. They're still human beings. They're not fucking robots. And human beings are always going to do fucked up shit. You recognize the use of anecdotal reference? How important you think identifying logical fallacies help people develop critical thinking in order to develop class conscience? I think it's important. I recognize anecdotal references and why they're important, and I do apply anecdotal references, emotionally charged anecdotal references on a regular basis. The difference between me and like a Republican doing that, however, is that my anecdotal references actually correspond to the data, the broader data. So if I talk about a particular instance, right, it also is reflected in the data as well. Like my side of this conversation is not like, I'm not simply taking a position here. I'm also telling you just factually accurate information instead of trying to massage this information with my own personal biases. Ben Shapiro does this a lot. He will look at empirical evidence and he will try to fucking pick apart, cherry pick data points in an effort to make it seem like his position is the correct one when it's not, right? This is the way that the Republicans operate, however. But like I was saying, it was shocking to hear NPR also somehow magically realize the truth of the matter. They said that RNC day 2 was a dud, partially because violent crime is down, U.S. murder rate is plunging. They said undocumented migrants are not exactly a prescient talking point, not exactly a talking point that like Republicans still care about it, but it's not necessarily born out of real data. It was shocking, partially because Biden has completely stopped border crossings almost. All right. That's one thing that they brought up as a major own. And then they turned around and even legitimized the fact that there was some panic on the undocumented migrant crisis because there was a lot of people that were actually crossing the border as though this is a fucking major problem somehow. And then they turned around and still said, guess what though? Guess what? Undocumented migrants are responsible for less crime per capita than documented U.S. citizens. The panic narrative, the hysterical narrative from the Republican side on this issue is completely made up. Not born out of data at all. It's just born out of fear. Fear that they imagine in their own minds. This is why it's extra ironic when someone like Ben Shapiro says, facts don't care about your feelings, because he's never operating on a factual basis. His entire job is to make it seem like he has empirical data, empirical evidence actually defending his prevailing narrative. But in fact, he's almost always operating with his fifis and never operating out of data points.
Last night, Tony was on the convention floor for the speeches, including the one by Nikki Haley, where she called for Republicans to unite around the former president. Tony, good morning once again.
Hey, good morning, Nate. Good to see you this morning. So the official theme here last night was safety, and the speeches, including some from everyday Americans, or EDAs in the particular jargon of the RNC schedule, well, they touched on immigration, the illegal sort, the fentanyl crisis, and backing law enforcement.
That's another great part of the conversation. Oh, fentanyl being trafficked over the border. Yeah, that's right. Fentanyl is. Except 90% of fentanyl apprehensions, 90% of all of the drug apprehensions, according to the Department of Homeland Security, more like the Department of Homosexual Security, by the way. Obviously, they're also gay Marxists, it seems. You know, Customs and Border Patrol, more like cocks, butts, and pussies. Okay? Their own data shows that all drugs being trafficked across the border, 90% of them come from regular points of entry. Okay? The overwhelming majority of people that are trafficking these drugs, unless they're coming out of shipping containers, are actually coming with American citizens driving cars across the border. They're not coming in the pockets of law-abiding abuelitas, okay? You're fucking delusional if you think that they're able to. Mexicans and Guatemalans somehow are magically able to fucking traffic and like hide metric tons of cocaine and fentanyl in their fucking pockets when they're crossing the goddamn desert, okay? When they're crossing the fucking Rio Grande Valley. That's not how this works. It physically does not make sense. It mathematically doesn't make sense, okay? Anyway, I agree with you about where the fent comes from. What about the chemicals come from China to the cartel? This is also true. Yes, it is. It is. That is correct. That's not incorrect. I recognize that. Except, what the fuck does that have to do with border control? We got to kill these fucking abuelas coming over the border. We need drone strikes on these. We need drone strikes on these people coming in. It's an invasion. Really? You just said it's actually coming in with shipping containers. Like, doesn't seem like that's going to do much. Anyway, there is not one real narrative in the Republican Party. Every single talking point, every single policy position is all born not out of data, not out of real problems, but it's just born out of like hysterical panic that they have brought about themselves. Like, they do not have to fear the top of the hour ad break, right? They can just subscribe for $6 or for free with a Twitch Prime. At the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. But they just like whip themselves up into a fucking frenzy, and they're like, oh my God, I'm checking my watch. It's like, oh my God, we're 5 minutes out. What the fuck am I supposed to do? The 3-minute ad break is upon us. Yo, I don't like this. I don't like this. It's just like, just prepare. You know what I mean? Just prepare against it. You can also get gifted a sub if you're lucky. Here's a 3-minute ad break now. That was probably the best you're going to get today as far as segues goes. Okay? That's it.
But the major headline, as you mentioned, Nikki Haley's endorsement of Donald Trump. It came with a huge...
Damn, bro. Shocking revelation. Dude, shocking revelation, by the way. Nikki Haley endorsed Donald Trump. Man, we needed you right now, Nikki. Like, how did that happen? How did that happen? I'm so shocked.
Wave of applause here in the arena as some of Trump's staunchest supporters reveled in her now very public bending of the knee, a turn from critic to ally.
You don't have...
Who could have fucking seen this? Another moment. What were you just saying about things you called months ago? They actually have a law, but they had to drop it to pass Greg Abbott's booby traps. Bro, remember what I told you about Nikki too? I was like, Democrats are so fucking stupid that they're like going after Nikki Haley's like base of support as though there's like a serious group of people there that are genuinely, legitimately going to genuinely and legitimately vote for Joe Biden. Like this broad constituency represented within the Republican Party, and that they weren't all going to genuflect to Donald Trump. You have to be fucking delusional to think that that would happen. History has shown time and time again that that does not happen. Why would you think that? I told you this shit already. It's always so funny. It's always so funny when people just go, "Oh, I'm so shocked that this happened." It's like, yeah, dude, a lot shocks you, I think. There's a lot you don't understand about the world if you look at a situation like this and you go, "Oh, I don't really get it. I don't understand how this could have happened." You know? No object permanence when it comes to hog ideology. Yeah. And to be fair, you know, I'm going to fucking pat myself on the back again. If you don't want to be shocked about stuff like this, then watch me instead of watching whatever kind of other dumbasses you're watching in general, because I've been talking about this for a while. Anyway.
To agree with Trump 100% of the time to vote for him. Take it from me. I haven't always agreed with President Trump, but we agree more often than we disagree.
What is this? Isn't this what they are trying to prevent, though? MS-13 gang members, Trump makes us stronger. MS-13 members say Trump's policy and rhetoric serves as a recruitment tool. Activists say Trump is emboldening the gang, making immigrants vulnerable. What do you think? Did you just read the headline of this? And like the headline of this YouTube video from 2017 and not even remotely pay attention to what the message could potentially be? Is that what happened? Anyway, let's continue.
I'm here tonight because we have a country to save. And a unified Republican Party is a...
Donald Trump himself seemed to like what he heard there from Nikki Haley. He offered her a standing ovation, a slow one, rising from that white plush chair he's been sitting in on each night of the convention. Still had the bandage on his ear, by the way. And in a different sort of show of unity, our Ed O'Keefe noticed that some attendees were wearing ear bandages of their own. So...
Bro, Republicans are so fucking stupid, dude. Oh my God. Oh my God. One charismatic like Hollywood actor, like not a John Voight type, but like an actual charismatic Hollywood actor could dramatically alter the trajectory of this party permanently. Like they have nothing. They have no cultural signifiers. They have no cultural signifiers to like point to. So they like desperately grab onto anything and everything. That's why they wear t-shirts. They say like grab them by the pussy and shit, because they just have nothing. I feel so sad for them. Will this scare the hoes? I mean, it is scaring the hoes. The hoes are already scared, though. If the hoes are Republican, they're already scared. They're scared of everything. They're scared of their shadows. They're scared of black people. They're scared of brown people. They're scared of immigrants that they think are doing rapes. They're scared of homeless people. So, you know, Republican hoes are permanently scared anyway.
Looking ahead to tonight, folks, we've got Ohio Senator J.D. Vance. He's expected to speak, and this may be just my particular obsession, but he happens to be the first vice presidential candidate with facial hair in almost a century, first with a beard.
That's kind of fucked up, man. That's kind of fucked up. I get a decent number of headshots in Valorant. Okay, I don't really appreciate this.
And even longer than that. So maybe the next trend here at the RNC, something I could get behind myself, a little bit of scruff.
I want to see it, Tony. Thanks.
Why aren't you talking about Gaza anymore? I still do talk about Gaza. I almost daily. I talk about Palestinians almost daily. But obviously there's a broader variety of news that I cover on top of that chatter, you know? I mean, I don't talk about it every moment like I did for the past 9 months, but you know, people have a variety of different interests, and obviously it is incapable. I am incapable of just like covering everything that you want me to cover in that very moment, you know?
So much.
Latest on the investigation into the attempted assassination of Donald Trump and the questions about the security breach. Our Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas is in Washington.
That's a crazy mustache. Also, yeah, the reason why that person got banned is because there's a difference between will you cover Gaza today, which is also fucking annoying, versus Hassan, you have given up on Gaza. Like, chatters bring a very different energy usually when they're like, dude, why did you give up on the Gazans? Why did you give up on the Palestinians? Anyway, that's wild. Michael Jordan tried this. It didn't work. I don't know why people are still doing it. It's a wild mustache. You know what I mean? It's a wild mustache. It makes you look like a particular German painter, like a German art school dropout. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Quantico has accessed the shooter's phone. Quantico has accessed the shooter's phone, and they're looking into it, but they're like shocked. And it's because they don't have me on their side. I'm not even kidding. Give me a call. This is the only time I'll work with the fucking feds. I want to know so bad what the fuck was going on in this dude's head. I will find the point of radicalization, okay? I will find the point, I'll pinpoint it with accuracy that the shooter did not have, okay? I will pinpoint it with unimaginable accuracy. I promise. This is extremely my shit. I just want to know. I want to know so fucking bad. Because the thing is, this dude is like so hog-coded in every way. The Act Blue donation is like obviously a blip. And obviously trying to assassinate Donald Trump is the other major reason why it's like, what was going on in this man's mind? You know what I mean? What the fuck was going on in this dude's goddamn mind? Because like, there's 2 points. One minor point, the $15 dono. And then one major point, trying to kill Hog Jesus, Donald Trump. And everything else outside of that is just like so aesthetically and so ideologically conservative. Okay? So much. Which is why hogs have not been able to really cultivate a narrative that is appropriate here. They can't, they're like upset. I feel bad for the fucking hogs. I feel bad for them. Because like if the dude even had like one fucking Spanish relative in his lineage, they could be like, that's right, Mexicans did it. If the dude had said the Shahada one time, they could be like, that's right, Islamist terrorism. Once again, this guy loves Hamas. You know what I mean? If the dude wasn't wearing a YouTube gun, like a gun YouTuber t-shirt, but instead wearing like, I don't know, my merchandise, God forbid, or even something that is like ostensibly like liberal coded, they'd be like, oh, liberal Antifa. But it's just crazy. They can't find anything. They can't find shit. He was a Persian Jew, hence Iranian Islamist. Yeah, he was a Persian Jew, sure. Bro, there is not a single Persian Jew that has ever been in like any Western Pennsylvania county, okay? Like, that'd be so funny. But yeah, DC Drano has an exclusive. I don't know if I trust his ass, but oh, it's a video. Video shows the shooter walking around by himself looking at rooftops near Trump. How was he not detained? Especially after getting caught with a rangefinder? I wonder why he wasn't. Hey, DC Drano, why do you think he wasn't detained? Partially, perhaps it was because he's white. Don't you think? Don't you think that was the reason? Bro, this dude had the best invisibility shield of all time at a Trump rally. Okay? He was white. He looked inbred as fuck. He had that white guy hair where you're like balding, but you also have like long hair at the same time, but it's like super fucking, it's both simultaneously dry and wet all the time at the same time. I don't even know how that works. You know what I'm saying? Like he was so perfectly fucking white, dude. Absolutely zero people are going to clock him. He had a motherfucking Habsburg jaw. He was so white, he looked like royalty. There ain't no way. There ain't no fucking way anybody was like, this guy's going to shoot Trump. Maybe fucking suck Trump. Anyway, you're describing half of Twitch. No, I'm not. Hasanabi heads are not like that. Oh, I love this one. Walter banged with this, by the way. He is the GOAT for this one. This is such a good fucking... I kind of want to start doing this too. Sorry to tell you, but I'm rocking a pretty greasy skullet. A woke one though. Dude, don't do that. What do I always fucking tell you guys, dude? Everyone can be a 7. This is not everyone can be a 7-ass mentality at all. If you got a fucking skullet going on and it's greasy, fix it, dude. Cut that shit out. Get a mullet. Get a fuckboy mullet, okay? Live your life a little bit. I just don't understand why chatters will voluntarily be like, no, you know that guy who looks horrific? I look exactly like him. Why did you voluntarily deliver this information to like a stadium full of people? Okay? I don't understand why you would do that. And which means you have that recognition and you haven't done shit about it. Go fix that shit, dude. It's not that hard. Get a haircut. This is hair ableist as fuck, bro. Chill. Yeah, I mean, I tell you guys to shower and touch grass every day. Okay? Where were you yesterday, newsman? What? I was here. I was live. Chatters think I die when I just don't go live at 11 a.m. Pacific. Chatters be like, oh, I just assumed you were dead because I didn't see you live exactly at 11 a.m. So I assumed you dropped your responsibilities. I was on fire, chatter. Literally, I was immolating. Anyway, new details. New details in the hunt for motive in the Trump shooting. Let's take a look.
Washington for us. Good morning to you, Pierre.
I gotta pee.
Robin, good morning. The young killer at the center of this investigation remains an enigma. The FBI is still working to find the reason for the attack, but police have recovered a mountain of evidence showing his fascination with guns and explosives. This morning, new details about the final stage of planning from Thomas Matthew Crooks in the hours before he tried to assassinate former President Trump.
Take a look at what happened.
Sources telling ABC News that police suspect Crooks got on the roof not by using the 5-foot ladder he may have recently purchased, but by climbing on top of an air conditioning unit. And was Crooks on a suicide mission? Sources telling ABC News he left his tactical vest in his vehicle, raising questions about whether he intended to survive the attack. And ABC News discovering new details suggesting Crooks was meticulous in designing several suspicious devices found in his vehicle and residence. The devices had a remote control aspect, intricate wiring, and chemicals, though it remains unclear how effective or dangerous they may be.
The real question here is going to be, how did he plan all this to the degree that we think he did? The odd man out here is the explosives. As to what was he going to do with those?
This comes amid new questions about security failures that ended up with Trump and 3 others hit by gunfire. Officials tell ABC News the Secret Service has actually stepped up security around Trump in recent weeks in response to threats from Iran to assassinate him. But despite that, Crooks was able to climb onto a roof and fire at Trump from 400 feet away. Officials say there's
Okay, that's not what this motherfucker
fire
dude.
at Trump from 400 feet away.
You don't gotta give him that edit, dude. Dude, listen. He got shot at. He survived. You don't have to make him sexy in the recreation, okay? Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. You cannot be doing that. I mean, at least they made him orange, but like, that's crazy that they were just like, yeah, look at how sexy Trump is in this 3D rendering. Yeah, this is Trump minus 100 pounds. You see this insane rap video from the convention? I did not, but I love that. I love insane rap videos. Local cops warn Secret Service. Wait, what? Scoop from Washington Post. Washington Post, MSNBC's Carol Leonnig. Scoop! On Saturday, assassination attempts at Secret Service. They didn't have the manpower to position a patrol car and an officer to watch outside the key building facing the Trump rally stage on Saturday. That's where a gunman hoisted himself and later shot at the former president during the Pennsylvania event. Wow.
So a Republican gets shot by a registered Republican using a gun that Democrats tried to ban, and somehow it's the Democrats' fault?
Dude, I love that. Oh, that's so good. I love this. I mean, this is a certified banger, okay? Because it's so, I fucking hate the guy who Walter is like obviously emulating here. I've done like some coverage over his TikToks. What is it? Date right stuff, right? Isn't that what it is? He's like the guy who has that failure of a fucking right-wing dating platform. Like, if you want to streamline domestic abuse and the shittiest dick you've ever received, go on date right stuff, you know? I didn't know it was a parody. I thought it was a real guy. Is this take wrong? No, it's right. He just took the guy who always does like the shitty smarmy, like I'm eating food while also quickly quipping, and he turned around and he turned it on its head, and I love it. He's using the same format. I skipped this TikTok because I thought it was the other guy. No, it was absolute banger. Like with the end, he goes, "Got it." He knew. You know when he was the shooter wasn't Republican and stopped trying to copy date the right stuff. Lamau. He never voted Republican. Only registered to piss off Democratic parents. He donated to Democrats, not Republicans. He literally never donated to Democrats. No, he did. He did donate to like the one pack. But it doesn't matter. His parents weren't Democrat either. His parents were, what the fuck? His neighbors said they had Trump signs. Dude. His neighbors said that they had Trump signs on the lawn. Among the swirling unanswered questions about what drove 20-year-old Pennsylvania man to the very nearly kill former and potentially future president. Oh, man, potentially future president.
All cops are racist monsters. You just said only cops should have guns.
No, I don't want cops to have guns either. This guy's always having an argument with like a made-up person. He's just like, no, people want to demilitarize the police as well and you know, punish them aggressively. He's just, oh God, arguing with a straw man that I created to own the libs. Are you happy or sad that he survived? I love bait like this. It's just like so obvious. Such a silly question, dude. At a time when everyone is like looking desperately at like left-wing commentators to fucking yell at, coming in here and being like, are you happy or sad that he survived? Like, yeah, dude, ready to clip. Finger on the button, okay? Straight up finger on the motherfucking finger on the clipping button. He's like ready. He's ready. I'm gonna keep that close to the chest, okay? Of course, I'm so saddened. I'm saddened by the events that took place. Bro, I was just asking. Oh, okay. Well, I'm just answering. I'm saddened by the events that took place. There you go. Much to think about with that answer. I'm using very, very careful language. You know what I think? Dude? I think the media is dropping the ball. They should have immediately ran with the narrative that Thomas Matthew Crooks and Donald Trump were in a gay love triangle and this was a gay lovers quarrel, just like the Republicans ran with that narrative when David DePipe fucking tried to kill Paul Pelosi. I'm just shocked that more people haven't been doing that. I've been doing that here because I'm truthful, you know? I'm here for truth. I'm here for justice. I'm here to tell you what's what. I'm here to tell you what the real fucking situation is. Donald Trump started doing Ozempic, stopped because he got sexy. He stopped having sex with this young boy. Okay? Donald Trump and Thomas Matthew Crooks were in a gay relationship. They were having sex. A lot of sweaty sex, a lot of hot sex, sex like you've never even thought about. Okay? That's right. And then Donald Trump started getting on Ozempic and he started losing weight. And he was like, oh, I can do better than you, Thomas. I no longer want to fuck you. I now want to have sex with JD Vance. And Thomas Matthew Crooks was like, no, you can't do that. You're going to make him your vice president. And then you're going to be able to have hot sex with him in the White House when you become the president. I'll kill you. And then he shot at him. I spread this with a date edited, and a bunch of boomers believed it without checking, just addicted to the trolling. I am sorry. Oh, no. 8 months ago, mapping the Trump shooting. Oh, no. You are messed up in the head? Am I? Oh, is that the craziest fan fiction you ever heard? Or is that brilliant? And I'm actually tying the strings together finally. This proves your point.
And I will even give Joe Biden 10 strokes aside. 10 strokes. That's all. That means 20 strokes.
He's so horny now that he's diced off that Ozempic. He's trying to fucking stroke even Joe Biden. If I'm Trump's secret gay lover, I'm going to feel some type of way about this slutty man talking about who he wants to make come. Okay? That's what I'm saying. It's just like he probably kept hearing him talk like a fucking harlot in broad daylight, and he couldn't stop himself any longer. He was like, you used to talk to me like that. You used to stroke me like that. Okay?
And I will even give Joe Biden 10 strokes aside. 10 strokes. That's all.
Yeah. On the 11th stroke, he dies. So I will be gentle with him, a gentle lover. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. On the parents of the shooter being Republican, one of the parents is. Yeah, Channel 4 did some investigation on it too. He was a gun-toting Republican, the daddy was. Dude, they're so good, Channel 4. I mean, all right, let's finish this and then I'll get into the Channel 4 shit.
Hey, officials say there's no indication of a link between the Iran threats and Saturday's attempted assassination. But now growing outrage about the security lapse.
Someone's on top of the roof, look.
Video shows Crooks on the roof moments before he opened fire, spotted by bystanders who called police for help.
Officer!
In our interview, the head of the Secret Service, Kim Cheadle, saying law enforcement officers were stationed inside the same building, where Trump's would-be assassin climbed onto the roof and opened fire.
There was local police in that building. There was local police in the area that were responsible for the outer perimeter of the building.
L after L after L, dude. Holy shit, the Secret Service sucks. If you are any part of the American law enforcement community, you just automatically are just ass, dude. You're just so used to being bad at your job. Straight up. It's like comically bad.
I'm being told that the shooter was actually identified as a potential person of suspicion. And so the local police department actually...
It's so funny because like Uvalde happened and not a single one of those pig fuckers was a woman. So of course nobody hit the DEI narrative then. But the moment that they find like a woman that they can blame, they're like, oh no, this is not like a cultural problem. This is not like a problem born out of the lack of interest that anybody has in a position of power to like actually make cops do their fucking jobs. Okay? So it must be the woman in charge that is the reason. It's awesome. It's great. They found a woman so they can be like, yeah, it's DEI. No, man, it's just that law enforcement in general, all the way up to the Secret Service, it seems, just aren't very good at their fucking jobs. And they don't need to be at all because absolutely zero people are like, hey, maybe we should make them do their fucking jobs. This is like one of the ways that I think I always try to reach out to the hogs as well, where I'm like, don't you get fucking mad when so much of your tax dollars go to these fucking people and then like they literally just like cry all the time about how like they're being bullied because they can't be like violent to random people. Meanwhile, they are still violent to random people. They have no fucking accountability and they rarely ever do their goddamn jobs. They never do their jobs. They never do it. It's like anything that you have that is stolen, God forbid, you go to the cops, they're gonna be like, think that's what we do? Get the fuck out of here, okay? I was shocked when 2 detectives knocked on my door. Shocked. I thought they were here to like arrest me. When they came up to my door and were like, hey, we're actually investigating a stolen car that happened like outside of your house. I was like, it was like a genuinely shocking moment for me. I was like, you guys do that sort of thing? Like you do that sort of thing? Like that's a thing that you do? You investigate theft like that? Grand Theft Auto? Rich neighborhood, that's why. Really funny that you say that because in this rich neighborhood, I have had literal friends have their car stolen where the cops straight up were like, nothing we can do. You say, but you in West Hollywood. But that's so funny that you're saying that because I have people that were in my neighborhood that you know as well. Not one, but 2 people actually. Yeah, Myth got his car stolen. Ludwig got his car stolen. Will had a car theft situation as well. Absolutely zero circumstances where cops are like, oh yeah, let's get right to it, sir. I suspect that it was a person who has like an in with the police department that got detectives to actually fucking get off their ass and do an investigation. Anyway, or maybe like it was an insurance fraud. I don't know. Like, that's why I bike. Motherfuckers stealing it probably need a good workout. True.
Actually put a call out.
Officers responded, but were not able to stop the gunman in time. The local sheriff defending his team, telling ABC News each department had been given specific assignments and they carried them out.
The deputies under my control did their job and went above and beyond after the shooting stopped and the chaos began.
In fairness, nobody wanted something like this to happen, and many of the police performed heroically. But the fact remains, we still do not have a clear answer as to why and how that young killer was able to get on that roof and fire away, George.
Pierre Thomas, thanks.
And former President Trump.
Anyway, we're gonna continue along with the background on the shooter and more police incompetence, of course, as always. We got the video where this guy, apparently it's him, is the shooter, who was walking around by himself looking at rooftops near Trump. How was he not detained, especially after getting caught with a rangefinder? I'm gonna tell you once again, it's because he's white. He's white as fuck. He was so goddamn white. There's no one more white than this man. Okay, if he was like even a little tan, that they would have had him in handcuffs. Okay, prodding his asshole. Okay, like this dude had a magic invisibility potion at a MAGA rally. Okay, he was a hog. He was a hog. I watch Hassan, but also Paul Joseph Watson. Do I just enjoy carnage? I've never heard that. I haven't heard that name in years, bro. Does he even fucking keep posting content? What are you watching content from 2017? That's crazy. You need God. New interview saying he hated Trump. Well, okay. We know he hates Trump. Okay. That doesn't give us the motive. He tried to kill him. The point is why? Breaking news. Guy who shot Trump in the head hates Trump. That part is apparent to pretty much everyone who immediately recognized. Hold on. Do we have that link? That link's not working, Vorlo, the one you sent me. Anyone in chat should know that you can hate someone and still miss them. That's the most relatable thing about the shooter. Toxic. Yes. Yeah, no. He's definitely Trump's gay lover. Like, that's not a joke. That's what I'm leaning on. He had sexual intercourse with Donald Trump and he just could not stand. It got deleted instantly. Oh, by the way, the FBI used, of course, IDF tech. Israel's Celebrite. Trump shooter's phone was cracked with Israeli technology. Okay. Least shocking turn of events here. But anyway, as far as like hunting down the shooter's motive, there's still many questions. Okay. There's still many questions. His classmates have said he's conservative. His neighbors have said they've seen Trump signs on the lawn. Okay. He was wearing duck hunting camo, and he was getting bullied for it at school. He's a bit of a loner. He was a bit of a stem cell, as far as we understand. But among the swirling unanswered questions about what drove a 20-year-old Pennsylvania man to very nearly kill the former and potentially future president, the glaze is unstoppable. Focus has turned to the parents of the would-be assassin, both of whom are licensed professional counselors, according to Pennsylvania Social Work Board. Now, if you think social workers are across-the-board Democrats, let me tell you, that's not the case. You can be a social worker and still a hog. Matthew Brian Crooks and Mary Elizabeth Crooks, residents of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, hold active licenses as professional social workers. Records from the Pennsylvania Licensing Verification Service indicate that both have been licensed since 2002. With Mary obtaining her license in February and Matthew in March of that year, their license remained valid until February 2025. Newsweek reached out to the Crooks about their background in counseling, but has not received a response. After the man identified by law enforcement as Thomas Matthew Crooks shot at Donald Trump from a roof just outside the security perimeter at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania Saturday, the FBI said it completed the search of his home, where he lived with his parents, as well as his car and at least one phone. A motive remains unclear. Turns out he also had a potential makeshift bomb in his car that he wanted to blow up too, simultaneously, to cause chaos and then also take advantage of said chaos or some shit. Records indicate that Crooks, an administrator at a local nursing home, was a registered Republican voter, though he's also recorded as having given a single small donation to a Democrat-aligned group. A neighbor told reporters that there have been pro-Trump signs on display in the yard of his family's home. Beyond that, details on Crooks and his family have so far been elusive. Unlike many gunmen who have carried out attacks on schools, nightclubs, and businesses, Crooks did not appear to leave a trail of clues into his mindset on social media, nor did he leave any apparent manifesto. That could make it more difficult for investigators to understand what drove him to that perch in Butler. This is the Thomas Crooks residence. Local law enforcement has been guarding the home from media since the July 13th shooting. Mental health. Newsweek spoke to Paul Gianfrido, the former CEO and president of Mental Health America, about what warning signs could have been missed about Crook's family and friends. That part I don't really care about. Wasn't that a small donation from a different person with the same name? No. Bullying can also play a role in violence, yada, yada, yada. That's how you know he's white. He's white. Okay? There's no better indication that this motherfucker is white. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, what motive could there be? Bullying. Like, they're giving it a fair shake. Okay? They're giving it a fair fucking shake. A fair shake that only is given to right-wing, white, racist shooters. Okay? White shooters in general. Oh, well, it was just like he got bullied a lot. You know? He got bullied. If this dude was even a little Mexican, bro, oh my God, they'd be like, dude, this is what Hispanics do. Famously. Anyway, it's so hard to be vulnerable as a man. You try to get your feelings out, and people call it a manifesto. So you have to send a series of bombs through the mail to different universities to kind of cut the vulnerability. I agree. Anyway, Trump shooter's parents called the police hours before the assassination attempt. That's another part of this puzzle as well. Motive is still unknown. Oh my God, Fox News is trying to fucking paywall this shit now? Bitch, are you crazy? Are you fucking insane? You're out of your dang mind, son. What the hell? He has the perfect school shooter profile. He looks like a school shooter. Okay? He walks like a school shooter, talks like a school shooter, did a shooting. Okay? The only difference here is that instead of shooting up his school, which is usually what they do, okay, don't say that, huh? What do you mean? Why not? Fuck you mean? He does. He's got that inbred stank on him. Thing is, most of the time, and I've talked about this before, most of the time in America, like, people with this kind of resentment never actually carry it to, like, people in positions of power who actually have, like, a protective barrier around them, right? Constant security and surveillance. And they always just, like, go after people that are weaker than them and go after, like, random people, you know what I mean? That they unleash their fucking anger and resentment towards. That's the norm. It's never the norm to turn around and, like, try to fucking take that anger and resentment on someone who is more powerful.
Channel 4 News can reveal that Thomas Crooks's father, the owner of the rifle that was used to shoot at Donald Trump, was held on a database and profiled by the former president's election campaign and identified by them as a strong Republican supporter, gun owner, and hunter. The information was compiled as part of a secret Republican project to gather data on millions of gun owners across America and use it to target pro-gun messages in the run-up to the 2016 election.
It's so funny that the Trump administration knew what the fuck was up with the Crooks family. You know what I'm saying? They were aware. I feel like there's a major difference in someone trying to kill Trump because of political sentiment and someone going full psychopath and massacring children, like a pretty huge margin of difference. Well, as it stands now, we don't know what the shooter's motives were. Obviously, my immediate inclination is that, like, yeah, this is most likely a political shooting because it is the president, you know? Having said that, however, a lot of people that are driven to doing these kinds of shootings, like, we don't know. As of now, we don't know what his motivation was. But if his motives are similar to, like, a fucking schizo school shooter, for example, then this is one of the very few instances where, like, a person with that kind of resentment, frustration, anger that wanted to, like, make a name for themselves, which is oftentimes, like, the motive of school shooters, is targeting someone that is, like, at a higher status than them and not in their immediate vicinity with, like, less power and no mechanism to protect themselves. You feel me? This is unique. Hasanabi analysis on point again. Unless we go with the narrative that I have declared, which is that he had a gay relationship with Donald Trump. Okay? I'm just saying. So, who knows? Who's here to make those declarative statements? Me. I'm the guy. You come here for analysis, and you're going to get that. Top of the line analysis, baby. shit that you've never done thought about, you've never done heard of. Anyway, that's the best explanation I could come up with right now. Let's finish off this Channel 4.
And here's why they did it. The city of Pittsburgh is a key battleground in the critical swing state of Pennsylvania, so voters here are always heavily profiled and targeted by political parties.
He didn't just shoot at Trump, he shot into a large group of people. Why is everyone just glossing over that fact? Come on, dude. Come on, dude. That is... Come on, bruh. What are you saying? It was a fucking Trump rally, and he was aiming for Trump's head. And if Trump hadn't moved his head a little bit, he would be dead right now. That's the funniest part of this. Like, that is the funniest argument to make. Absolutely zero people are making that argument. Okay?
Parties, like the Trump campaign in 2016, which held voters' details on a database, including, as we've discovered, the shooter's family, Matthew Crooks and his wife Mary, who lived here at 2506 Milford Drive in Bethel Park. We know they profiled them using secret computer models to identify likely gun owners and enthusiasts, and Mr. Crooks scored very highly, 0.99 out of 1 for being a gun owner and 0.95 out of 1 for being a hunter. In fact, out of more than 19,000 people in Bethel Park who were profiled, Mr. Crooks was in the top 20, and the database classified him as a strong GOP or Republican voter.
So at least the Trump campaign knew about his daddy. That's crazy. Channel 4 is so fucking good. I know, dude. They're dangerous. 19,000 gun owners in Bethel Park. No, I think 19,000 total people. He's like, yeah, he's ranked 17. Hey man, there's no way to know Trump would show up at a Trump rally. Seems like Trump was a bystander, not a target. Yeah, exactly. So we're returning to the he hated his dad and that's why he wanted to kill Trump, right? I mean, we don't know. 32,782 is Bethel Park's pop. Maybe 19,000 like registered Republicans. I don't know. Hogs will always argue how Democrats will create a registry of gun owners. Meanwhile, the Republicans have already done it. Yeah. That's just the number of people they had profiled. Bro, how is he? Dude, someone needs to check on Daddy Crooks because he's about to drop in that ranking quite a bit. You know what I mean? I don't think he can still be number 17 after his son tried to kill the president. Like, that probably knocks you down like a couple thousand. You know what I mean? Like, no matter how much you fucking love guns and hunting, I suspect that you're probably not gonna maintain your number 17 position. What do you mean? He's top 5 now? Fuck no. That's awkward as hell, bro. Anyway, here it is. Former classmate of recalls Trump shooter grilling him over support for former POTUS did not like politicians.
Thomas was a quiet kid unless there was something that he was passionate about, politics being one of them. He just did not like politicians, especially with the choices that we've had. He did not like our politicians. It was especially during 2016. It was Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, all of them. He showed that he disliked all of them, did not like any of them. So I brought up the fact that I'm Hispanic and, you know, I'm for Trump. And he said, well, you're Hispanic, so shouldn't you hate Trump? And I was like, no, he's great. I mean, like, he's a great president. And he's, you know, he called me stupid or insinuated that as if he's like, well, that's kind of stupid. If he was a know-it-all. So, like, once again, if he was passionate about something, he would just talk, and acted like he knew everything, especially politics related. And he would say it in a tone that was like, I'm better than you, in a type of way.
This motherfucker was a debate lord, bro. He was a debate lord. Oh my God, DGG here. Dude.
And, you know, meanwhile, it's like, dude, we're in the same classes. You know what I mean? We're talking about the same stuff here. And whenever it comes to politics, I mean, at the end of the day, I can agree, you can disagree, I can disagree. We're not going nothing about it. At that point, it doesn't matter. At that point, we're just starting to figure out who we like and all. But yeah, he was real smug.
Yeah, he was. I think this dude is making this up. He was 12 in 2016. Like, he was 12 years old being like, I hate Hillary Clinton, I hate Bernie Sanders. Like, that makes no fucking sense, bro. Like, this guy's going for the Fox News anchor position. I'm Latino. He was right. This guy's fucking stupid for being part Latino and liking Trump. I mean, yeah, he is stupid, but that's not the, like, I'm willing to listen to stupid people, you know, if they have like personal testimony. But that's wild, bro. 12-year-olds are opinionated as fuck, to be honest. 12-year-olds' opinions are on Livy Dunn, okay? Or what is it, Brecky Hill or something? Like who their favorite like female content creator is, okay? Why am I saying this? Because I saw a bunch of fucking 12-year-olds being interviewed at a hockey game, and they all were like, oh, my favorite content creator is Brecky Hill. I'm like, you should not know that. That's crazy. You're 12. They start you young here in the South. I was taught to shoot the TV with my Nerf gun when Dems were on the screen when I was like 7 years old. Oh my God, nobody's like that at 12. We can't all be horse boys. I mean, this is the worst community. Oh my God, this is the worst community to say nobody's like that when they're 12, because this is the most politically autistic community of all time. Of course, all of you motherfuckers were like that at 12, and so is this guy probably. So I've just realized something here. Again, why did I say that? Half of you dumbasses were already listening to me when you were 12, 13, 14 anyway. So of course, this is the worst place to have this conversation. Especially many of you that come from like conservative backgrounds, I feel like it's more Democrat to just like not really try to brainwash your children. I feel like Republicans project on that front quite a bit, whether it be taking your ass to church or constantly fucking instilling their values in you at an early age to just like hammer in the points. Like, yeah, that's right. Barack Obama is a Muslim man. That type of shit.
Arrogant whenever he was talking, and whether that was his way to try to make friends or be funny, I don't know, but it got under my skin a lot. So his friend group, they were known for being, like I said, like just out there, a little bit more recluse. Some of them didn't even show up to school. Some of them went home school. Some of them, I think one of them went to like a private school. They were definitely the type, and they did make threats to shoot up our school. And that year, I believe it was our freshman year, because I had left our freshman year. Before I had left, you know, everyone going through Snapchat, everybody's texting, everybody, you know, saying this, that, and the third. Everybody was saying it was Thomas who made a threat, and it was that friend group. Everyone was mainly blaming the friend group, but a name that kept coming up was Thomas. And he never did anything, you know what I mean? He left school for a couple of days. It wasn't anything like a suspension or anything. It was just a couple of days, you know. He was not severely bullied. Almost nobody knew him. So, you know, for somebody who got severely bullied, I mean, I'm not going to name names, but I could name you a few students that were severely bullied, and I remember...
Bro, this kid's awesome. He loves yapping, dude. This is grade A yapping right here. He's just like, yeah, I can name names. Not me, though. Yeah, this motherfucker for sure was one of the bullies, okay? For sure.
Remember their names. He's not one of them. The signs were there, and somebody definitely had to know. Somebody, whether he was talking to somebody or somebody either just didn't realize and just overlooked it, somebody should have known, because he was not a loner. And both of his parents being counselors, how do you not see that warning sign here? Anybody who knew him should have seen something, should have known something was up. And I know it's, you know, it's kind of easy to hide, but people are going to get their affairs in order before they do something this bold and this drastic, and nobody saw it. And why?
Maybe Trump was cyberbullying him. Yeah, maybe. I like that Fox News is like, I brought up the fact that I'm Hispanic and, you know, I'm for Trump. And he said, well, you're Hispanic, so shouldn't you hate Trump? That's like what they're going with. And he said, no, he's great. He was a great president. He called me stupid or insinuated that I was stupid, which he was, to be fair. I love having I love listening to these sorts of interviews that leave us with more questions than answers. Like, oh yeah, he didn't like Donald Trump. Okay, we fucking knew that already. He tried to kill him. Like, give me something different, man. The new rhetoric was shooter was stupid. Rhetoric. My man said rhetoric with D's, 2 D's, not one with 2 D's. That's awesome. Respect, chatter. You are doing crazy things out here. Anyway, Thomas Matthew Crooks' parents called cops to report him missing on the day of the shooting. Apparently, Thomas's mom and dad reportedly called the authorities about his MIA status before he opened fire at the rally, which left retired volunteer fire chief Corey Contemporary dead. Per the outlet, Thomas's parents are not cooperating with the FBI, who are still trying to determine the shooter's motive for Saturday's attack. Still, Thomas reportedly had every intention of surviving the ambush. As CNN reports, he told coworkers he'd be back on work on Sunday after requesting Saturday off, allegedly telling him he had something to do. That's crazy. That's something he had to do. Assassinate the president. According to the report, Thomas first raised suspicions 3 hours before the shooting as he entered security screening area holding a rangefinder, which is often used by hunters to measure distance. However, the rangefinder alone was not enough to keep Thomas from passing through security. Those security personnel reportedly kept an eye on him in the area. In other words, they were aware of Thomas's suspicious presence prior to the shooting. Per CNN, investigators discovered 2 remote-controlled explosive devices in Crook's car following the shooting. Oh, this is a fun brief aside here. Divorced men being 9 points higher in their support for Trump than all the other men is just funny. Yeah. All voters in this poll, all registered voters across the board, divorced men, 56%. If you're a divorced dad, you have the highest likelihood. Of supporting Donald Trump. Poll on the shooting. What is the root cause of Trump's shooting? Deranged shooter, 24%. Trump and his own rhetoric, 23%. Rhetoric of Biden Democrats, 13%. Let's go! Absolutely 0 people believe this dumb fucking bullshit, dude. Oh, thank God Americans are so stupid, but at least they're like not that stupid. You know what I mean? It's like virtually fucking impossible. Virtually impossible for people to be that dumb. Political polarization, lack of gun control, mental health issues, news media rhetoric, 6%. Oh, thank God. Oh my God. People said Trump and his own rhetoric. Oh my God. Oh, that's so awesome. Oh, I'm in a nut. I love seeing Americans actually demonstrate like a moment of fucking accuracy for once. Oh, that's so sick. Oh, that's so great. This is just like a breakdown of the concerted effort from the Republican Party and their messaging discipline on this falling apart. Oh, this is cinema. Oh, it's so fucking good. It's great, man. It actually is. This is wonderful to see. This also is part of the reason why I believe that polls haven't changed too dramatically, like haven't swung in any direction dramatically post-assassination attempt. In a way that even I was saying like, oh, Donald Trump's definitely going to win. Like the reason why I said that is because it is entirely dependent on the Democratic Party and how they manage messaging post-shooting versus the Republican Party and how they are able to move away from Donald Trump being like a genuine threat to Donald Trump being a martyr and a victim, right? But Americans' positions are completely fucking planted at this point. Anyway, isn't this just 2016 all over again? Americans weren't falling for Hillary coverage over Trump in 16. Same way they don't buy this Biden's rhetoric is worse than Trump's. Bro, he's the most hated person on earth for half of our country. No way they will feel bad for him. Oh, for sure. Like, I don't feel bad. Like, I don't think any Democrat, like Democrats will say like, oh, this is really devastating. Like, I'm so sad. I'm saddened by the events. Like, they might be fearful that like political violence will become the norm. That's entirely separate than like feeling bad for Trump. I'm fucking, what do you mean? Like, I think that you look at anywhere, you look at any group of individuals right now in the immediate aftermath of the shooting, half of them were crying tears of joy, and the other half were crying because they were sad. That's just the breakdown. Ain't nobody was like, I'm in the middle of this. Because that's what happens when you have maxed out on your name recognition, when the incumbent president is going up against the former president. You know what I mean? 1, mental health. 2, Trump rhetoric. 3, media rhetoric, propaganda. 4, political divisiveness. I mean, 70% of the whole country, 65% of Dems want Joe to drop out. Yeah, new polling came out. We're going to talk about that. 100% of those unsubscribe will see a 3-minute ad break, though, which is not reflected in this poll. So how honest is this poll? You know what I mean? Because at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. And if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free with Twitch Prime, right? That's just how it is. Now, you can also get gifted a sub if you're lucky. You can get gifted a sub if you're lucky. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. Like I said, Twitch Prime is free. We're going to talk about the Biden dropout potential as well. But here, Don Jr. blasts media in Republican hypocrisy in full display. Oh, Muffin Coast, thank you for the 5. Thank you. Variable 320 for the 5. Spitting Nichols, thank you for the 5. Thank you. Allowing 15 people to no longer see the ads at the top of the hour. Why? All right.
Trump in the crowd.
Dude, by the way, the fucking the Republican hypocrisy in full display does not end here. We have Donald Trump Jr. Don Jr. blasting media overshooting conspiracies. He wasn't shot enough for them. I love that. Lol, you sounded like Biden, Jack. That's the whole point. Hey, wait, who just gifted? Daniel Art. Thank you for the 10 bones.
Crowd last night listening to those former rivals talk about unity. But one of the most powerful moments so far this week came the day before, Monday night, when President Trump made his first appearance since being shot in that failed assassination attempt. His son, Don Jr., watched the tape, got emotional.
Thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American.
You know, it would be great if it was possible to talk to Don Jr. about what he was thinking at the time. In fact, joining us right now
can book him.
The guy from the Cutaway shows up live.
We know a little bit about the pollen that's in the arena.
It's a killer.
Allergies, guys.
Oh, come on. It was your father. He got shot. Everybody was emotional.
It was actually incredible. And when you juxtapose that to the scene in 2016 at the convention, right? It was very different. There was so much uncertainty about their candidate, and I almost got in a fist fight with Mike Lee on the floor, who's now like a great friend.
That.
You remember that? It was like it was so different. The love I've felt over the last couple of days here is unlike anything I've seen before. You're walking up to grown men who you see them welling up. It's people understand exactly where our country is. They understand what's at stake right now, Steve.
Absolute bitch-made shit, okay? They're crying. You're a bitch. You're a fucking bitch. Grown men with tears in their eyes. They're so sad for my pappy. Shut up, weak-ass, pussy-ass bitch. You fucking baby. Anyway, aside from the soy takes, wow, toxic masculine much? Oh, 100%. 100%. I'm toxic and I'm masculine. There ain't nothing wrong with that, okay? Let me tell you something. If the only emotions in display, if the only time you can demonstrate your emotions is like because Donald Trump got shot in the fucking ear, you can suck my dick, okay? I don't give a fuck. Like, what are we talking about here, dude? What do we, like, it's like Daughters of the Confederacy crying to the the Confederate forces lost. Like, I don't give a fuck. Fuck you, ass. Anyway, and that didn't even happen. So it was only good for Trump. Having said that, they're acting like the fucking president was killed in their minds. But one thing that I find particularly funny is Donald Trump Jr. being like, oh, he wasn't shot enough for them. I can't believe the media is doing shooting conspiracies and shit. It's like, bro, you literally did this for Nancy Pelosi. You do this anytime anything happens. You are the biggest bitch. You literally, you posted a photo of underwear and hammers and be like, I'm doing my Paul Pelosi cosplay. Like, I don't give a fuck about either of those situations. Like, I made jokes about that as well because I'm equal opportunity hands. You know what I mean? If something is funny, I will, cover it in that situation. I'll cover it with the humor that it deserves. But like, you can't be on Fox News crying and be like, I can't believe the Democrats have gotten so out of control. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You stupid fucking cokehead. Oh my God. Suck my entire dick, dude.
They're all in for America.
So when you had that moment, you knew he was going to walk out. We weren't sure. We heard that possibly he was going to walk out. Also, prior to that was who's his running mate.
Yeah.
And we found out it was flipping. It went up 2 or 3 deadlines were pushed for him to make that decision. Why do you think this decision was so hard?
I see you have no arguments. Did you just not hear the argument that I made before I said, I don't care about your crying, you dumb little baby? Are you too stupid to hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? I said, Don Jr. is the last person on the planet to cry foul about conspiracies as it pertains to a political act of violence. Why? Because historically, he has done this exact same thing, like significantly worse versions of this exact same thing that he's crying about. Are you an alien? God, I love hogs. Oh, I'm so happy that Republicans are back in the community. It makes me so fucking stoked. Yes. Yes, I am an illegal alien, okay? And I love voting for the Democrats. I love getting all of my other illegal alien friends to go out and vote for the Democratic Party. Hell yeah, baby. Hate the derails. I love it. It makes me feel alive, okay? It makes me feel alive. It makes me so happy when conservatives come back in here and they're like, why? You are from Mars? Okay, this guy's fucking stupid. Let's continue.
So I think he has to find the right mix, the right chemistry. I mean, he's a big sort of chemistry guy to work with. You have to, there's a lot of people, obviously, in politics, many on people's payrolls that sort of give, let's call it partial advice about things, or they, tell you sort of lies by omission to get what they want. And so for me, I got fairly involved in the process just because I want to make sure that fix. I did. I've known the guy now for years. When his book first came out, I thought it was such an incredible American story. I was like, that guy's got to run for politics. Turns out, years later, he does. Young, intelligent, vibrant guy. Also did it in the business world. Just the perfect pick. And he just, there is a chemistry with my father that I think is perfect.
Don, your dad has been impeached. Sorry, Steve. Impeached. He's been arrested. Now he's been shot. And the left is still questioning his injury. Listen to this.
There are a lot of questions around that ear.
Yeah, dude, I love that. Dude, I want the left to be like this. The left, by the way, fucking MSNBC. I want Democrats to get a little nutty, and I'm fucking excited at the prospect. I've been begging. This is why I don't actually yell about the Midas touch a lot. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of these guys. Like, the Lincoln Project is a little different because they're former Republicans, and I fucking hate them for that reason. They're all like Bush-era Republicans. But Midas touch, I don't want blue anon necessarily. You want more blue anons? No, I love when the Democrats actually fucking take that smoke, not to like defend Joe Biden, but to actually shit on the Republicans in the same fucking, with the same insanity. I love that. I love the Midas touch style Bush era liberalism.
And yet there's been no response to that. Instead, just showing the image of the man coming into the hall with the wounded ear.
A spectacle for this candidate.
By the way, there's nothing funnier. There is nothing funnier than Fox News bringing up the left, okay? Bringing up the left. And then the first person they bring up is the ex-RNC chair, Michael Steele. Okay? They literally were like, look at what the left is saying. about Donald Trump's injuries, and it's just a Republican. I can't believe the left shot the motherfucking president, Donald Trump, and the guy who shot him is literally a registered Republican. How could the left have done this? American politics is so incredibly dominated by right-wing forces in general that these guys have no villains that they can like accurately point to. That's why they keep like posturing against that one girl from 2016 who was crying when Trump got inaugurated. You know what I mean? Like, they got no real villains with teeth. Half of the MSNBC lineup is former Bush Republicans. Half of the CNN lineup is former Bush Republicans. Everyone is just right-wing. Everyone. Right-wingers are so nutty that they don't have anything to fucking hit anything to hit at on the left, that they start obstructing their own fucking congressional proceedings. Remember, Matt Gaetz, the Never Kevers, they got so bored of hitting fucking left because there was nothing to hit at that they started hitting themselves. It's the same shit. Fox News is trying. Fox News is trying to find like leftists to yell about, but they can't find any. So they're just talking about the ex-RNC chair as like he's a socialist or something.
Instead, just showing the image of the man coming into the hall with the wounded ear.
A spectacle for this candidate who we know is, by his own admission, obsessed with assorted spectacles. There is a political quest here to mine and use Donald Trump's injury, and whether his allies and Republicans...
Wait, that's true, though. Like, what is that's not even a conspiracy. That's just like facts. Donald Trump literally got up and threw up the fist. What do you think he was doing when he did that? He knew exactly what the fuck was going on. Like, that's not even a conspiracy. That's just like good politics. That's almost giving Donald Trump credit for what he's very good at. Like, Ari is not wrong on that statement. You can't even bring that up as a conspiracy. He's not even doing a conspiracy. He's just basically saying, like, you know,
or the candidate himself do that in a way that overextends their credibility will be decided by the voters.
They're wondering if he's using this for sympathy. Was it really glass from the teleprompter, not a bullet?
He wasn't shot in the face enough for them. It wasn't enough. He did more face.
I'm going to tweet out that I think Donald Trump was in a gay relationship. Shocked that more people haven't been looking into the motive of Thomas Matthew Crooks' lover's quarrel. Why is that funny? It's not even funny. It's not even funny. It's just it's a real motive for the suspect. I can't wait for community to notice the type of very long response to your obvious bait. I'm just asking questions. Was in a gay lover's quarrel with former President Trump. That's what I said. And he's banned? What do you mean? These are the important questions. Oh, I just saw on Twitter that Trump was in a same-sex relationship with a young rifleman. Is that true? Yes.
That's the point. They can't help themselves. The Trump derangement syndrome is real. It's so asinine that they could say that. I mean, you see the photograph at the time. There's blood everywhere.
You see the bullets whizzing by his ear.
That was an incredible photo as well.
By the way, for those of you who are wondering what I'm doing here, I'm doing exactly what the Republicans did with Paul Pelosi. I don't actually believe that Thomas Matthew Crooks was in a gay lover's quarrel with Donald Trump, but that is precisely what Republicans went with, including, but not limited to, Elon Musk. Elon Musk himself personally said that. And there was zero inclination for that conspiracy to be true.
But, you know, I don't think any of that matters, honestly. They did the same thing to me when I was on the floor. Eric and I were there. We were going to throw my father over the delegate count. It's a huge moment for our family. And 30 seconds before that, some MSNBC, did your father...
Hold on. We've got the soundbite.
Oh, good.
Roll tape.
I think he did spend a lot of time changing up the message of what it's been. He's been under constant attack, but it's a different time in America. A lot's happened in 48 hours.
Don, what is that change going to look like, Don? What practically, your father as president, I think you would even say, was a divisive figure. What's it going to look like in the second term?
I don't think he was a divisive figure at all. I think the media created divisiveness around him. They lied about Russia collusion. They said he was a traitor.
As you were saying.
Yeah, that wasn't the part. The part when he came out here and he said this to you. He said, oh, will there be another child separation policy? You separated 8,000 before.
Yeah. And, well, he started talking about cages. And I'm like, this 30 seconds before this, 48 hours after my father was shot. I go, you mean the Obama cages? Right. And he goes, that wasn't true. I go, but it is true. It's 100% true. He's been fact-checked since. And I just said, you know what? Honestly, you're a clown. Yeah. Just go away. Go away. Like, why am I even wasting my time? Because 48 hours ago, my father was shot in the head, and they can't stop, right? This is the same as what they did with Russia. Even when they knew it was wrong, they kept going it. It was impeachment 1, it was impeachment 2. Democrats, just as bad. They're out there. They're trying to bankrupt our family. They're trying to take away my father's businesses. When that doesn't work, they try to throw him in jail. And, of course, when someone spends years calling you Hitler and a fascist and a this, and by the way, not just my father, half of the country. What do you expect?
So, Don, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the assassination attempt. I told Eric, you know, he's normally the chill one. Normally, you're the one that's going. And when I saw Eric upset, then I knew that we had.
These guys are literally just parasocial with people who are zero content. That's crazy. Like, the least charismatic individuals, like, they got zero of the dad riz. They got zero of their dad's charisma. Zero. And like broad appeal to broad appeal to hogs. Thoughts on his posture? It's ass. Everything about this man is ass. I hate him. I think he's just so sweaty and gross and anxious all the time. And I think Coke makes it worse. Donald Trump fucking despises him. Nothing funnier than people being like, oh, I can't believe you're comparing my father's Hitlerian politics to Hitler, though. It's just like, okay, well, has he thought about not doing Hitlerian politics? That's a good start if you don't want to be compared to Hitler. Fuck you mean? Like, the Republican strategy here is so funny because it's like, yeah, you're not allowed to openly call out the things that we're doing now. You're just not. Junior tells the story of talking to MSNBC, very different than how it went down. Oh, let's hear how this went down in real life, though.
Family separation crisis closely. Will we continue to see policies like separating 5,000 children deliberately from their parents?
You mean the Obama administration?
You know they didn't do that, sir.
Okay. Sure.
Will there be a second family separation policy?
It's MSDNC, so I expect nothing less from you clowns. Even today, even 48 hours later, you couldn't wait. You couldn't wait with your lies.
With your lies, oh God, he is so bad. He's so bad. I mean, MSDNC is awesome. I love saying that, obviously, myself as well. But like, he is so devoid of charisma. He's anti-charisma. Kamala Harris is a black hole of charisma. He is like the opposite. He is the opposite of charisma. He's just so like, ugh. He's so, I don't know how to describe it. He's just so nervous all the time. Why did he just casually lie about Obama? What the fuck is going on? He wanted to say Obama built the cages, which is true. That was like a bar under the Trump, like during the Trump presidency. That was like a big bar when they started doing family separation as a deterrence measure, which, by the way, if anyone tries to tell you that family separation was not directly created under the Trump administration as a specific deterrence policy, you can point them directly to the Department of Justice, okay? Because they openly stated that. Not even the DHS. I believe it was Trump's own attorney general at the time who came out and said, we have to separate families from their children as a deterrence policy. Like, as in, we have to increase the pressure and we have to increase the cruelty, specifically so that immigrants are scared. Okay? So while Obama did build additional cages that the Trump administration utilized, okay, that part is true. And Obama was the deporter in chief. and he was dog shit for that. And I have been incredibly critical of Barack Obama. You guys know this already. Donald Trump's administration specifically created the family separation policy where they would forcefully remove children from their parents as a deterrence measure. Soboroff is very good on the issue of immigration. He's on it. I mean, he has done a lot of good work. Okay? I mean, it's kind of a slow day. Do it. What do you mean? Yeah. Yeah. Jeff Sessions. I remember it correctly. We need to take children away, no matter how young, Justice Department officials said. Top department officials were a driving force behind the President Trump's separation policy, a draft investigation report said. We need to take away children, Mr. Sessions told prosecutors, according to the participants' notes. One added in shorthand, if care about kids, don't bring them in. Won't give amnesty to people with kids. And it didn't end there. If you want to know how much worse it got, they also would use the separated children as a way to try and arrest other family members. They would release information. About the children to their immediate family members, and then they would wait out. They would literally camp outside the fucking detention facility, waiting for family members to come in and process them to see if they were actually also undocumented. So if an undocumented family member came to pick up the child, they would literally also deport the undocumented family member. Use the kids as bait, bro. So a lot of people forget how unimaginably cruel the Trump administration was in terms of their immigration, white nativist immigration policy. And part of the reason why the Trump administration was so cruel and has seemingly gotten away with that kind of cruelty is because wrong how sounds legit. Wrong how you think that using children as bait is appropriate? You think using children as bait, like after apprehending them and putting them in a fucking camp, okay, when family members come to pick them up, you deport their family members as well? You think that is like a good measure? You think kidnapping someone's child and then detaining their family members after using the child as bait is good? There is no difference between you and a Nazi, just so you understand. Like, this is some Israel shit right here, dude. That's crazy. These guys will literally, half of these guys will be like, yeah, I hate Israel, because it's like Jewish people doing that, you know, in their minds, and that's like unacceptable. But they want to do the exact same thing, just not Jewish. The only thing separating these people from Israel is that, like, in their minds, it's like Israel's doing this for Judaism, and that's the wrong part. Anyway, that's not Nazi shit. They're being deported, not mass murdered. Thank you, 10-month subscriber. You're right. Kidnapping children of asylum seekers, which are legally... Dude, that's a great bait, man. Thank you. Take a week off for that. It was such a good bait. Love that. Love that for you. Be careful. Be happy that I didn't fully ban you.
Reach rock bottom.
I'm the fire breather.
You're the fire breather, bro. The president was saying, which son said that? Was it Don? It was Don. It was fired up. So we found out that, of course, the assassination attempt happens, but then we later find out that the Iranians, weeks before, had been planning an assassination. You would think they would step up the security measures, but to see such failure there, that has to be infuriating.
It is. You know, I'm a pissed off son because of that. And by the way, as a shooter, and someone, by the way, I said hi to guys that were part of my detail. So I have a detail. I don't have one now, but I had a detail. I've seen my fathers for 8 years. I shoot with these guys because I'm a competitive shooter. They're not afraid of a little sloped roof. That's nonsense. They don't let, unless there's a major breach or they're told not to do something, they don't let a guy with a rifle be on a roof for half an hour inside 150 yards. Like, for people who aren't shooters, 150 yards is like a 6-inch putt, right? It's like it's almost impossible to miss. That's why I say, like, this is divine intervention, right? There's no way. It's almost impossible to miss that. And, so, no, I am upset because that's true. I don't think this threat was tied to Iran. By the way, I think an Iran threat may be like one of the greatest endorsements in the history of politics, right?
Yeah.
If Iran hates you, like if our biggest enemies hate you, it's probably a good thing, right? It's like.
But what are you saying, Don? The fact, why was he left up there? If everything you said is true and the slope of a
30 minutes.
I like that he was Don Jr. The title of this is Don Jr. Blast Media Overshooting Conspiracies. And now they're going to fucking turn around and do their own version of the conspiracy theories, but in a right-wing way, I suspect.
Proof is not a big deal. And they had this guy on the side 30 minutes prior, and they had people saying while your dad was talking, look up on the roof, that guy's got a gun. What do you think?
It just a major breach. And again, I don't want to be the guy doing conspiratorial. I'm sure plenty of people will. And I think, honestly, all of those questions are fair game because it is so ridiculous. It is so flagrant. And this is not, some.
Oh, so it's appropriate to do conspiracy theories in the right-wing fashion, inappropriate to do so when you're saying like Donald Trump is using this shooting to garner sympathy or will try to use this shooting to garner sympathy, which is not even a fucking conspiracy. That's not what he's saying, you stupid libtard. Yes. Oh, give me more.
Someone who's an armchair expert who's like, I've had a detail. I know these guys. I've shot with a lot of these guys. Again, if I told my friends in the Secret Service, like, hey, I heard you're afraid of a 4-degree slope roof, they'd
laugh you off the couch. So you mentioned a moment ago, divine intervention saved your father. There are a lot of people at the convention feel the same way, that it was by the grace of God that he is alive today. How has it changed him? Because we heard in that interview he gave with the New York Post that he was going to give a different speech, ripped it up.
He did.
And now it's all about unity. It's all about bringing the country together. And he seems like a different guy.
Listen, I think getting shot probably changes a lot.
It's very
in
sobering.
terms of your mindset. I mean, I worked with him on Friday for like 4 hours, actually, on his speech the day before it happened. So it was like there was a lot of time, effort, and energy put into it then and before. He's starting from scratch, and it's interesting.
That's
you talk
awesome
to him about
that the community noted it.
It was that first call I had with him was sort of
I don't
amazing.
see it.
Took 90 minutes for me to even know. It was Saturday evening. My daughter, on the rare occasion, a teenage daughter, was like, "Hey, can we go fishing?" I was like, "Sure." Like I was out fishing with my daughter, and I get the call, and your father's been shot. I was like, and.
Yeah.
We don't know anything else.
Note.
I'm trying then to get through, and I'm rushing in, trying to get all of my kids. Kim called me, but we didn't have any other information, and so it was an hour and a half before I even knew if he was alive or not. No one knew anything. Obviously, I guess they shut down all the cell service or whatever, so I couldn't get a hold of anyone. And then, I finally, I had time to even look at the pictures and see these things going on before I even spoke to him. I just saw that picture of him coming out of that scrum defiant, and I was like. I got on the phone. The first thing I said to him, it wasn't exactly eloquent, but I just said, you're the biggest badass I've ever seen. I've always been proud of him, but that moment I was like, because everyone's a tough guy these days on the internet or behind a keyboard or, when you actually get shot at and you come out at, that's.
He's always been a tough guy on the internet and behind the keyboard. He's such a bad bitch, dude.
That's a 1%er in terms of resolve, in terms of guts. And so that was amazing, and then sort of opened up the door for some other levity, and that's when it was like. The adrenaline dump after that was pretty crazy. That was an emotional roller coaster.
I know my daughter, we had to talk to her about it because we knew she'd hear about it, and we wanted her to hear it from us. She had so many questions. How did your children react to it? Because this is not the president. This is their grandfather. And how did Barron? I heard Barron had a hard time.
Yeah, he had a hard time with it. He's fine, but he had a hard time with it. And it was interesting. I'm trying to explain to my 10-year-old daughter, what's going on. My 17-year-old was with me. My other kids, it's all different. So you almost have to approach them all differently with their personalities. And they were just like, I couldn't believe it. The older ones get it a little bit more. They understand a little bit more about the political arena and sort of the world in which we live. The younger ones less so. But I can assure you, it's a conversation you don't want to ever have to have.
Do you think we'll ever get the truth of what took place that day?
I hope there's some sort of independent thing. When the FBI, the same FBI that wants to label concerned mothers at PTA meetings domestic terrorists. I don't know that we're going to get the truth out of them.
Pam Bondi does not want the FBI to do the investigation.
I wouldn't trust the FBI to do anything.
The DHS
I've lost so much faith in all of these institutions that that it happened. Right? DHS is in control. control of Secret Service, and this happened. So it's like, you know, I can
Your
see
dad did
the
a point.
CYA, you know, starting to happen already, I'm sure. But, you know, there's no scenario in which I could imagine this being allowed to happen.
Your dad did appoint the DHS Inspector General who will handle this investigation. So hopefully we'll get some.
I hope so.
So what about your speech?
I'm just excited about it. You know, it's my speech.
You dumbass libtard, Trump deserves sympathy. My guy almost died for his country. Okay, stop trying to bait me because I said I love hogs and I want hogs in this chat. Doesn't mean that you can come in here with a fucking gray account and just start LARPing, okay? No, I don't like that. I want real hogs, not fucking fake ones who are just like, oh yeah, I'm just saying what I think Republicans would say.
Changed, right? I'm used to doing fire breathing. It's sort of what I do. Like I can do that standing on my head, so that's easy. Like you know, but no, I spent a lot of time to have a little bit of a different message. I think we need both though, because I think America does need to still remember what we had and how quickly it disappeared from us in the last 4 years. I mean, it is at a point where if this continues, we're probably at a point of no return if we can't get it back on track. If, you know, another 4 years of these policies, the open borders, the fentanyl, we can't just forget about that. But I think we will take a little bit of a different tack.
But Don, I feel like you've changed too. Like, I mean, you're going to be done. But
he's the worst, dude. He's so lame. Ugh. He's like parasocially invested in like Don and Eric Jr. Like that's a bridge too far for me. Okay. Like being parasocially invested in Donald Trump, that's fine. Okay. I am too, to a certain degree. He was the president. He's telegenic. You know, he's charismatic to his own base. But like, this is, I mean, they're so lame. Trump doesn't like them. It's just so lame.
But I feel like you're taken back ever since the shooting as well.
Yeah.
There's a calmness about you ever since the shooting.
Said no one ever.
You're right, exactly.
No, listen, I think you're 100% right. It is, like I said.
I'm skipping the rest of this. I mean, it's almost done anyway.
Welcome back.
Eric Trump says former president's in great spirits following assassination attempt. We're going to move on to the Democrats in a second. But here, we'll talk about the hypocrisy a little bit further because it's something that I want to address again and again. So the state is the parent in California now at Gavin Newsom. This is the final straw. Because of this law and many others that preceded it, attacking both families and companies, SpaceX will now move its headquarters from Hawthorne, California to Starbase, Texas. I did make it clear to Governor Newsom about a year ago that laws of this nature will force families and companies to leave California to protect their children. Gavin Newsom responded with, "You bent the knee." When Elon Musk came to the White House asking me for help on all of his many subsidized projects, whether it's electric cars that don't drive long enough, driverless cars that crash, or rocket ships to nowhere, without which subsidies he'd be worthless, and telling me how he's a big Trump fan and a Republican, I could have said, drop to your knees and beg, and he would have done it. That was one of the best ethered moments from Donald Trump. Okay? And I'm glad that Gavin brought it back because that is such a good fucking bar from Trump. Okay? That was such a great bar from Trump. Oh, I'm sad to see the glee that some on the right have at the opportunity to deploy cancel culture over post-assassination attempt comments. I'm a hardcore free speech advocate, and I look at it like germ warfare. It's bad for the whole ecosystem. People like to think that they would fight and die for their sacred principles. This is low stakes practice. The actors will say, those aren't my sacred principles. I'm going to punch back at my enemy. But to the people at the margin, maybe the principle is important to you. Maybe you shouldn't cheer for an online mob. Everyone should be judged by their statements. Elon Musk says exactly. Even though he's been fucking chirping about the way in which the left has been talking about the liberals have been talking about the shooting nonstop. Elon's going to be in a hell of a time moving SpaceX to Hawthorne. All the Space Force rocket shit is there. There's a good reason why Boeing, Northrop, and all the other companies have their shit set up near El Segundo. Yeah, whatever. Fuck them. And so the other thing I was going to say is Trump has been posting up a storm. Okay. Trump's more measured is the narrative from the media. And I told you guys, wait and see. I think he looks fucked up, but I don't think he's going to fucking dial it back because he can't help himself. And of course he hasn't helped himself. He's going after it. Trump versus Bullet, Biden versus Stairs. He posted this. Then he said this. The radical left Democrats are desperately trying to play the ref by calling for an illegal and unconstitutional attack on our sacred United States Supreme Court. The reason that these communists are so despondent is that their unlawful witch hunts are failing everywhere. The Democrats are attempting to interfere in the presidential election and destroy our justice system by attacking their political opponent, me, and our honorable Supreme Court. We have to fight for our fair and independent courts to protect our country. What happened? I thought we were doing unity. I guess not. Unity means Democrats shut the fuck up about the Republicans. You don't get to say anything. Republicans, on the other hand, they can say whatever the fuck they want, as they have been nonstop. Great situation. Anyway, yeah, unity through obedience. When Republicans say we need unity from, in this tumultuous time, we need unity from the Democrats, they mean unite to, vote for the Republican. Meanwhile, conservatives who constantly chirp about cancel culture have officially canceled Tenacious D. Now, Tenacious D is a two-person band with Jack Black and his friend for like years and years at this point. Okay, it's a rock duo. They literally did a movie about it, and yet they've known each other for decades. They've operated alongside one another for decades. Jack Black, however, has ended the Tenacious D tour after bandmates Trump shooting comments. The comedy rock duo tour Tenacious D, made up of Jack Black and Kyle Gass, has canceled the rest of their tour after Gass's remarks about the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. While on stage at a concert in Sydney on Sunday, Gass was presented with a birthday cake and asked to make a wish. Does anyone have the video? This was in Sydney, Australia. Do you guys have the clip? I want to show the clip. Where is it? Here it is. Now, before we get to this part, I do want to say something. Jack Black, big time Democrat, okay, and had also recently re-endorsed Joe Biden. Like a couple weeks prior to this, he did like a big on stage show of it all too. And that, I think, plays a big role in the reaction to his bandmate and, lifelong friend saying this thing.
Don't miss Trump next time.
He blows on the birthday candles and he says, don't miss Trump next time, which is obviously a joke, right? Like, he might genuinely believe it, but the format of this is, of course, like a joke. This is a comedy duo. I was blindsided, Jack Black says, by what was said at the show on Sunday. I would never condone hate speech or encourage political violence in any form. After much reflection, I no longer feel it is appropriate to continue the Tenacious D tour, and all future creative plans are on hold. I am grateful for the fans for their support and understanding. I mean, this is a better video, but who gives a shit?
Make a wish, Kang. We love you, kids. Thank you. We love you, kids.
What happened? He doesn't seem too fucking distraught.
Back, so take it backstage and cut it into pieces, please. Thank you, man. Thank you, guys. How about this guy? Kyle Gass. Happy birthday, goddamn. Love. You guys are the best.
Jack Black always been a hog. He's not a hog at all. Jack Black is actually a very nice person overall. Okay? He's a very nice person overall. He is like he's a big time Democratic Party supporter. He's a cool dude in person, I think, from people that I know that have met him. Very interested in like this space, like Twitch and whatnot, and like streaming in general. Having said that, however, I think the reason why he reacted the way that he did is not because he's like an actual fucking coward or whatever, but the reason why, I mean, he is a little bit cowardly, of course, but I think the reason why he's like this, he's a Warren defender, by the way, that's even funnier. The reason why he reacted this way is because he probably doesn't want what he's saying to be fucking reflected poorly against Joe Biden. You know what I mean? Because Republicans are pretty vicious and they'll come after him because they have no fucking interest in defending free speech, okay? Defending humor, defending satire. And I thought a lot about this. And that's why I was saying what I was saying earlier this morning, that Republicans have something like genuinely broken in their minds where like the age-old principle of like don't punch down but punch up when you're doing humor doesn't work in their understanding of the world. Republicans never want to punch up. They always simply want to punch down. It's like, if you can't make a fucking joke about one of the most powerful motherfuckers on the planet, okay, who the fuck can you make a joke about? And the answer from the Republican side is trans people, okay? Like, the only jokes you can make that are appropriate and acceptable is if, like, you're talking about someone who has less than you, okay? If you're talking about someone who's in worse conditions than you, if you punch up, that's unacceptable. They have this, like, weird, genuine peasant mentality. They have the feudal serf brain completely. They have it locked the fuck down. They're like, no, how dare you? How dare you make a joke about the motherfucking president? The motherfucking president is crazy. Where are the cancel culture warriors? Well, all of them are literally too busy canceling Jack Black and everybody else associated with Kyle Gass. The line I improvised on stage Sunday night in Sydney was highly inappropriate, dangerous, and a terrible mistake. I don't condone violence of any kind in any form against anyone. What happened was a tragedy. I'm incredibly sorry for my severe lack of judgment. I profoundly apologize to those I've let down and truly regret any pain I've caused. Now, obviously, I don't expect the Democratic Party politicians to behave like Republican Party politicians and come out and be like, I can't believe the shooter missed or anything. But as far as like liberal comedians goes, as far as like lib adjacent, Democratic Party adjacent celebrities goes, like it's completely fucking ridiculous that these people have any, like that Republicans have any ground to be like, oh, I can't believe you just made a joke like this. Okay? I can't believe you've made a joke like this. It's fucking, it's insane. Brother, Ted Nugent, I almost call it Nugent. Is it Nugent or Nugent? Like, Republican celebrities openly advocate to assassinate and even do worse than that. Like, they fucking Nugent. Okay, thank you. Like, we're not even, at this point, we're not even talking about like Republican. We're not even talking about Republican politicians who make jokes like this all the fucking time. Right? But beyond that, if we look at like the Republican celebrities, James Woods, John Voight, or Ted Nugent, Kid Rock, they're openly advocating to fucking murder political opposition on a regular fucking basis. What are we talking about? It's so ridiculous in ways that go far beyond simply talking about like killing Obama, for example. They weren't just saying like kill Obama. They were like lynching Obama. You know what I mean? Because he's black. Like turning it into a hate crime and showing that their resentment towards Obama and their anger towards Obama wasn't because he was like a bad president as a liberal or whatever, but like literally trying to do a hate crime to him, like saying, you know, this is what he deserves. Invoking the antiquated and really horrible aspects of American history that pertain not just to the first black president, but to all black people. Do you understand? So it's fucking ridiculous that they're just doing, that they are crying about this shit. Anyway, the VP debate responds, we don't know how the Democrat nominee for vice president, who the Democrat nominee for vice president is going to be, so we can't lock in a date before their convention. To do so would be unfair to Gavin Newsom, J.B. Pritzker, Gretchen Whitmer, or whoever Kamala Harris picks as their running mate, said Brian Hughes, Trump campaign senior advisor. That's pretty funny. Anyway, I just, you know, if fucking Dave Chappelle made a joke saying, hi, you miss bitch, they would love that shit. No, they wouldn't. They would come after Dave Chappelle too. It's only when Dave Chappelle says trans people deserve less, which is not even a fucking structured joke, as a joke, where they go, oh, that's hilarious. I love that. You know what I mean? That's my point. They just like, in their minds, cannot comprehend punching up as a mechanism for humor. They literally operate in the exact opposite way that most people operate. That's it. This is a classic principle in comedy. It's just like, what is this? The magazine cover no one asked for? The health issue. It's kind of funny. So yeah, like there's another aspect to this story as well. There's another aspect of the story as well, which I can't believe I'm covering, but you know, one of my least favorite political commentators, if I can call him that, the perennial debate pervert himself, got banned off of Kick, a website known for distribution of CP, a website known most famously for having a bunch of pedophiles, like literal pedophiles, on it. Okay? And as far as I understand, Destiny was banned from Kick for 2 weeks. Why? Because he didn't sufficiently condemn the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, or making fun of the dude, Corey Contemporore or whatever, who got killed in the process. And that's fucking crazy, because he says unhinged shit on a regular basis. He's unimaginably toxic, and for that toxicity, especially toxicity in the form of like demanding that redneck militias mow down BLM protesters, or, you know, fucking saying trans Twitter activists are like human degenerates, or whatever the fuck he said, or any number of different things that he's argued for, his active genocide denial. None of that shit is a bridge too far for Kick. Some of that is exactly why he got banned from most platforms in the past. But then he fucking turned around and said something that is like just as unhinged, maybe not even as unhinged as his other commentary and other rhetoric, and they fucking banned him off the CP platform, which is ridiculous. But again, it is yet another glaringly obvious demonstration of hypocrisy. These guys don't give a fuck about cancel culture. They love cancel culture. Okay? They do. They love that shit.
Damn, this guy's good.